We turn to page 83.
نزل عليك الكتاب بالحق مصدقا لما بين يديه وأنزل التوراة والإنجيل.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alif Lam Mim. Those three letters. Verse 1 of Surah 3. Surah Ali Imran. Allahu, Allah, la ilaha, no God, illa huwa, if not him. Now, Al-Hayyu, the living, that refers to Allah. Al-Qayyumu, and that comes from the word, from the root qama, and it means to stand. And Qawwam means superior. And Qayyum means self-subsisting. So, Allah is Al-Hayy, the living, Al-Qayyum, the self-subsisting. Nazzala. Nazzala comes from the root Nazala, which means to descend. But Nazzala is the second form of the verb, and it means to send down from heaven. Nazzala. Alayka, to you, or on you. Nazzala alayka, on you. Allah is talking to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Al-Kitaba, the book. Now in Surah Baqarah, we see Allah starts with Alif Lam Mim, that's the second chapter, Dhalik al-Kitab, that book. Now this refers to that book. And the book is what, from which comes the Quran, from which comes the Torah, and from which comes all the scriptures. That is the book. Right. Alayka al-kitaba. So the Quran is a reading of that book. Alayka al-kitaba bil-haqq, with the truth. Now musaddiqan comes from the word, the root sadaqa, and it means to confirm or to verify. And saddaqa, yusaddiqu, is the second form of that verb, and it's the doer. Musaddiq is the doer. So the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a musaddiqan. He is musaddiqan, the object, or not the object, but the manner in which this book was sent. It is a verbal, it's an adverb. It's an adverb, not an adjective. Adverb. It describes how the verb is, the object is being sent. Now, that means to say it confirms and it verifies it verifies lima to what baina between yadayhi, his two hands. Yadun is a hand. Yadun is a hand, and it comes from the root yada, which means to touch. Now yadun is one hand, and yadan two hands, and because of the preposition baina there, it becomes yadain. But now you add the he, referring to him, what is between his two hands. And in short, what it means, you will see many times this phrase occurs in the Quran, bayna yadayhi, between his two hands. And what it means before it. So now we turn to page 84 and we continue with this Qira-ah. Let's just take it a bit forward. Yes, we had to do it like that. So here, from previous we had lima bayna yaday, before it. Yadan, there you can see two hands. Wa and anzala. Anzala Tawrata. Anzala comes from the same root, nazala, but this is the fourth form of the verb, and it means caused to descend. Caused to descend. And you will notice, as we will see in future videos, that nazala, nazzala, and anzala, the root, the first, and nazzala, the second, and anzala is often used to mean the same. Cause to descend. Now, cause to descend, the Torah, that's the object of the verb anzala, Torah, that is the Torah. Wal and al-Injil, that's the object of the verb, also anzala, the Injil, cause to descend the Injil. And then it goes min qablu. Now here you don't see min qabli, min qablu. And this is where the grammar looks different from the rules, because according to the rules it must be min qabli, because min is a harfu jar, it's a preposition. But you must remember that grammar, the Quran precedes grammar. After the Quran, the grammar was written. So this is one instance where you will see that the Quran defies the grammatical rules that were formed, and and you will often see that. Not often, but you will see that more than once. Hudan, as a guidance. Linnasi, for mankind. Wa anzala, again that fourth form. And what was sent this time was the Quran, Al-Quran. So you can see the Torah is a reading of Al-Kitab, the Injil is a reading of Al-Kitab, and the Quran is a reading of the same Al-Kitab, of the book. And then it says, وَأَنزَلَ الْفُرْقَانِ, the Furqan. Now Furqan, very often it is said Furqan means the Quran. But Furqan is what was sent to the Prophet ﷺ, and you can see in verses where Allah said, He sent the Furqan to Nabi Musa alayhi salam also. Now what is Furqan? Furqan is what is very clear. Very often this word Furqan is translated as the criterion. And what is Furqan is what people never ever argue about. They are always in agreement on that. You must bear in mind that there are many parts of the Quran that people will differ about, and in the Torah and in the Injil also. But what is Furqan is what they never ever differ about. And we will come to examples, not to make this video too long, of what Furqan is. For now, you can think of what Muslims practice and what they never differ about, just to get it into your mind. Inna alladhina, indeed those. Alladhi is indeed who, one person. Alladhina, plural, those. Kafaru. Kafaru comes from the word kafara, and it means to reject, and it's the root word, and there it's plural. Kafaru bi. The bi goes with the verb. Bi ayat. Ayat comes from the word, is ayah, one ayah, and plural ayat. Bi ayatillahi. Mudaf ilayh. Indeed those who reject the signs. Ayah is meaning a sign. A sign in the Quran, it means a verse of the Quran, and the root word is alif ya, and that is quite interesting. We will discuss that some other time. Lahum, they have adabun. Adab is a punishment, and shadid is a severe punishment. Wallahu, and Allah is aziz, mighty, and dhun tiqam, possessor. Dhu is possessor, we will do it in the next video. And intiqam is vengeance. It means vengeance. You will see it in the next video. We continue on page 85. Yes, now we have to do some more explanation here. Indeed, those, and we have done that, kafaru from the verb kafara, and it's plural there, those who rejected, past tense. And there you can see alladhina, alladhi is singular and alladhina is plural. Kafaru bi, they rejected. Ayatillahi, ayah is singular and ayat plural. And ayat is mudaf, mudafun ilay. And ayati is ayati because of the preposition by in front there. And Allahi, right. Now, and like I said, the word ayah comes from as a root of alif waw and ya. In some dictionaries shown like that, otherwise it's shown as alif ya and ya. Lahum adhabun. No, adhab comes from the root azaba, and it means punishment. And shadid comes from the root shadda, like shadda when you do in read basic Arabic reading, you have a shadda there, means a double sound on a letter. Now it comes from that root. And shadda, and it means severe. So azabun, a punishment, shadid, that's the adjective of azabun, mean a severe punishment. Wallahu, and Allah is aziz. Aziz come from the root az, to get the better of. That's what it means. And many times it's translated as mighty, to get the better of. Az. Now, dhu is possessor, dhu. And intiqam comes from the root naqama. It means to revenge and or retribution. Now, intiqam, Allah is the possessor of retribution, the possessor of retribution. Intiqam, that's the noun there, and it's the eighth form of the verb. Intaqama yantaqimu. And intiqam is the noun of that verb, and it means retribution. Now, muntaqim, you will come across this word many times in the Quran, and muntaqim is the doer of the eighth form of the verb intaqama yantaqimu, and it means avenger. Wallahu azizun dhun intiqam. Then we go to page 86 and we continue. Inna Allah, indeed, indeed, Allah. And there you can see, because of the inna, the word Allah is a fatha. La yakhfa, la yakhfa. Now in many translations you will say, nothing is hidden from him. You will see that. But if you look at the verb here, then the verb is not majhul. That means to say there is a doer that is known here, and the doer that is known here is shay'un, a thing. Shay'un is a thing. So there is not a thing. There is not a thing, yakhfa, that hides. To hide, khafiya, means to hide. And we've used the root word here, or to disappear. Nothing hides alayhi, from him, against him. Fil ard, in the earth. Wala, and not fis samai, in the sky. Huwa alladhi, he is the one who yusawwiru kum. Sawwara, yusawwiru, that's the second form of the verb, of the root word sawara. Sawara means to form, and sawwara means to shape. So yusawwiru, that's the present tense. He shapes. Kum, you, he shapes you. Fil arham, and arham is wombs. It comes from the root rahima, means to have mercy. And raham is one womb, and arham, many wombs. Kaifa means how. And yasha'u, we did that, how he wants to. Sha'a, yasha'u means he wants to. La ilaha, no God, illa huwa, if not he. Al-Aziz, we did Al-Aziz, comes from the root azza, and it's often translated as mighty. Al-Hakim, Al-Hakim comes from the root hakama, to pass judgment. Now Al-Hakim is often translated as the wise, because judgment needs to be wise. Wisdom and judgment is linked together. Then we turn to page 87, and there you see I've written huwa alladhi yusawwirukum. That refers to the previous lesson. We continue with this lesson. The next part of the verse.
هو الذي أنزل عليك الكتاب منه آيات محكمات منه آيات محكمات هن أم الكتاب وأخر متشابهات
هو الذي, he who, أنزل, we did that from nazala, عليك الكتاب, sent on you the book. Now of that book, minhu, of it, minhu, there are ayat, verses, ayatun, you can see there. And what type of verses? There are ayat muhkamat, that's an adjective of those verses. Now with the noun and the adjective, you know that when the noun is singular, the adjective will be singular. When the noun is plural, the adjective will be plural. And when the noun is indefinite, the adjective will be indefinite. And when the noun is feminine, the adjective will be feminine. Okay, that's just a recap on nouns and adjectives. So muhkamat is the adjective of the ayat there. And it comes from the root hakama, means again to be wise or to pass judgment. Now, and this it comes from the fourth form of that verb, which means law giving. So how those verses are law giving verses, muhkamat, law giving verses. Hunna, they are feminine, because ayat feminine, so the reference here, hunna, they are feminine. Ummul, they are Now, means mother. And to make it look very important, the Arabs use the word mother. Mother is the most important person in the Muslim culture. Kitab is the mother of the book. So the muhkamat verses they are the mother of the book. And the book will refer to now the Quran, the Torah, and the Injil. It was always like that. Wa ukharu. Ukharu means the others. Akhar, a singular for the other, and it comes from the root akhara yuakhiru, and ukhra is feminine, and often the feminine is used for plural. So ukharu, the others. And what are the others like? They are mutashabihat. And it comes from the root shabba, yushabbihu, to make equal. And what it means is tashabaha. There I wrote the ha but wrong. It looks like a dal there, but it's a ha. Tashabaha means to be fused, to be interlinked, like in a matrix, meshed together. It's fused together. So because it's fused together, it doesn't have a distinct meaning like law-giving verses. And so the meaning is somewhat hidden. That's mutashabihat. That's the meaning of mutashabihat here. You have often heard the word mutashabihat used when people learn the Quran hafiz, and they say these are mutashabihat verses. They don't mean the same as what we're talking about here. They mean those verses are similar to the other verses. Mutashabihat means the verses are similar. That's what they mean here. Here we refer to the meaning of those verses. Mutashabihat as different from muhkamat, which are law-giving and distinct. We turn to page 88. Now, I'm not playing a recording. I'm still translating. هُوَ الَّذِي أَنزَلَ عَلَيْكَ الْكِتَابِ. He is the one who sent, again, nazala, forth, to you the kitab. And we have previously used the word nazala and anzala and nazzala. Now, anzala, nazala, and nazzala, those are active, meaning the doer is known. We call such a verb ma'lum. Ma'lum, the doer is known, meaning it's known. Ma'lum means known. And in English, they just call it the active form of the verb. But when the doer is not known, it is just implied. Then nazala becomes nuzila, anzala becomes unzila, and nazzala becomes nuzzila. And then we refer to the passive form of the verb. We call that majhul. Comes from the root jahala, to not know. Majhul, not known. Ma'lum, known. Majhul, not known. So there I drew a line, and then I've got written there nazala. That's a root word. Nazzala, the second form of the verb, and anzala, the fourth form of the verb. You will notice those are used all meaning often that he sent down. He sent down. And we won't go into variations and philosophical variations of those now. Then I drew another line there, and I've got Al-Kitab. Al-Kitab, I already referred to Al-Kitab, the book. Al-Quran, the Quran, which is a reading of that book. And Al-Furqan, like I said, Furqan was sent to Nabi Musa alayhi salam. You can think of it as the criterion, but what I emphasized of what Furqan is, because you will hear it in the Ramadan verse also. Allah sent Furqan. So it is too simplistic to say that Furqan means Quran. It is too simplistic to say that. Furqan is what people never differ about, because people differ about a lot of other things, but Furqan essentially is what people never differ about, and I want you to think about that. And then in later discussions, we will mention a few things that Muslims never differ about, and they practice throughout the ages, from the time the message came up till today. They never argue about how it should be done. They can just do it. Ramadan is one example, Hajj is one example, the Salah is one example. That never causes division among Muslims. We turn to page 89, and here you will see what I meant when I said what I said in the last video. It doesn't cause division among Muslims.
فأما الذين في قلوبهم زيغ فيتبعون ما تشابه منه ابتغاء الفتنة وابتغاء تأويله.
Yes, fa, amma, fa, so, fa is so, and amma is as for, so, as for, the argument continues, الذين, those, fi, in, qulubihim, qulub is the plural of the word qalb, and qalb means a heart, and qulub, plural, hearts. Fi qulubihim, in their hearts. Zayg, what is zayg? Zayg comes from the root zayg, it means to turn away. And zayghun is a noun in itself that means distortion. So in their hearts is distortion. Fa, so, yattabi'una, and it comes from the root tabi'a, and tabi'a means to follow, and ittaba is the eighth form of the verb, and it means to observe or to pay heed to. So what do they pay heed to? Fayattabi'una, that's present tense. They, plural, pay heed to what? Ma means what? No? Tashabaha. And tashabaha means he fused together. So they pay attention to what he fused together. Those mutashabihat verses. Minhu minhu, of it, min is of, and it, and who is it? Ibtigha'a. Ibtigha'a comes from the root baghiya, to seek, and it's the fourth form of that root, ibtigha'a, and it's a noun here, and it means aspiring or wishing. So with it, they are aspiring or they are wishing to. What are they wishing for? And here you can see al-fitna. So you have mudafun ilay, aspiring of the fitna. You can see it's ibtigha is now not a verb, it's a noun, and it's the mudaf of al-fitnati, and that's why al-fitnati has a kasra, and what it means is discord. It comes from fatana, to seduce, and al-fitna is discord. Wabdigha'a, and aspiring and wishing for, with it, wishing ta'wilihi, to derive. Now, ta'wil comes from the word awwala, and it means to derive. Now, in deriving from it, they wish discord.